Hello there, you're watching The Fuel View, and a reminder that share with us some of the stories that you think were the big stories of the week last week, and some that you think are likely to appear in the next week. Now, 8 miners have been rescued alive from Cricket Mine at battlefields in Zimbabwe as rescue operations continue. The bodies of 24 others have been brought to the surface. The miners were trapped from Tuesday night following severe flooding in that area. The owners of the mine, Rio Zimbabwe, say people entered the shafts illegally to look for gold. The Zimbabwe government has declared it a national disaster.
The mining methods are not state-of-the-art, but nothing stopped these miners from going underground to rescue their colleagues. Their efforts throughout the night paid off. The first survivor emerged.
A lot of people have not survived. Only a few of us made it. We were struggling with carbon. It caused more deaths. Water was not the main cause, but it was the carbon.
His colleague Simon Mashonga related his ordeal.
The thing that kept giving us hope that we will survive, we kept hearing the sound of water pumps buzzing in our ears, and we knew there was life ahead. As long as people have not forgotten and have not given up on us, we were going to be saved.
Excitement as more survivors came out, but some were too frail to walk. They were all taken to a local hospital. Survivors say they barely slept during the 4-day ordeal as the water level was neck-high and it was difficult to breathe. They became weaker as the hours passed without any food. Rescuers haven't given up the search.
The rescue mission is still going strong. We've still got the experts, who are the mining experts, who are still down to retrieve any other people who are alive, or if they're dead, the bodies will be brought up as well. So we are going to be getting information from the chief engineer, who will be updating us on what's happening. And if there are any bodies that will come up, we'll be here to see that happen.
Anxious relatives and other miners are continuing to camp at the site in the hope of seeing more survivors emerge. Sophie Mukweni, SABC News.
And for the very latest, we're on the line to our correspondent, Effort Musekiwa, who joins us via Skype in Harare. Effort, a very good evening to you. So we understand 8 survivors, 24 casualties. Do we know how many people are still left behind in the shafts?
Well, unfortunately, as of today, there haven't been any new figures that have been released. We just did a check a few minutes ago, and they haven't retrieved any bodies today. The figures still remain at the 24 dead and the 8 also. And of those 24 that died, 23 have been positively identified, and they've indicated that they are now speaking to their next of kin so that they can start making burial arrangements. Of the 8 that survived, 7 were treated and discharged from hospital. Only 1 to be in intensive care due to the injuries that he sustained and also due to trauma. So he's still admitted at the hospital in intensive care.
Effort, has Rio Gold Mine indicated how many illegal miners are suspected to be trapped underground?
There have been no official figures. Remember that the incident happened in 2 adjacent mines. The 24 bodies that were retrieved from a mine called Silver Moon Mine, which is adjacent to Cricket Mine. And in Cricket Mine, we are only told that there are 4 people, or the reports are of 4 people that are known to have gone underground at Cricket Mine. So really the numbers, they are varying. Some people are saying up to as many as 70 or 80 people, according to the number of, when the authorities ask people to asked relatives to come forward and submit names of any missing relatives or any missing colleagues. That's when we got such indications of those numbers, that the people could actually reach to a number of about 70 or 80. So really, as at the moment, we don't know how many people really are still trapped underground.
So, Effort, just looking at those visuals there, we see a lot of those survivors that are coming out covered in mud. Did they say anything to you, journalists, about the conditions under which they were trapped?
Yes, indeed. We spoke to them, as you saw earlier on. I actually did speak to the first two survivors, the first two that came out, and they were telling us that the conditions there are very difficult. It's very difficult to breathe because periodically they say that carbon, there's the gases, the underground gases. There's a release of underground gases because at times they use explosives to blow their way out, and that process releases a lot of carbon. So there's a lot of carbon underneath there, and they were saying that a lot of people were actually choked by the carbon that is underground. That was the first thing. The second thing is that because they were in water, the water was reaching neck high, and they couldn't sleep. They had to spend the entire 4 days awake, no food, no sleep, and in a very tight position, and they couldn't move because it was also getting dark. The torches that they'd gone under with had run out of batteries. It was dark, no food, and submerged in water.
So government has made an appeal for money to assist those affected by the disaster. Has it indicated exactly where the money will go or what it will be for?
Okay, government is, as you rightfully said, declared this a national disaster, and they've indicated that those that are deceased, the families who receive burial assistance, they'll receive some amounts of money range of up to about $1,000. They'll also get funeral assistance, and also I think some of the money has to do with food and arrangement for those who do not live area, that they have to be taken to their home areas, because at this mine where the people are, it's not just the local residents. A lot of people have come in from all parts of life, if some from as far as Bulawayo or as far as Matebeleland, to just come there and do their mining. And because it was a very lucrative mine, there was a lot of gold that people were actually retrieving from there. So there were a lot of people from various places. So as to where exactly the monies will be spent, it has been the indications haven't been made. But we do understand that it's mostly for funeral assistance and also treatment of those that would have come out alive, need medical attention.
Thank you very much, Shefet Musekiwa, our correspondent in Harare, Zimbabwe.